I'm making aloo chaat. First things first, I'm going to heat some oil on moderate flame because I need to fry the potatoes. So let's take some potatoes now. I've peeled potatoes. I'm going to cut these in dices. If it's a medium-sized potato, like the one that I have here, you just cut them into 8 pieces, like so. Similarly, let me start cutting the rest of the potatoes. Let's transfer these potatoes in a larger bowl. With a kitchen tissue, I'm just going to dab these potatoes and make sure all the water is absorbed in this. Make sure this is nice and dry before this goes in oil. Once the potatoes are dried and ready, I'll be adding in some corn flour. Not too much corn flour because you do not want it to have excess flour. You just have to dust a little bit of corn flour so it gets nice and crisp while it's getting fried. While the oil is heated up, let me drop in the potatoes in hot oil. Just make sure you do this carefully and do not splash hot oil. If you have a smaller frying pan, make sure you fry this in 2 to 3 batches. The oil should not be overcrowded because then the potatoes tend to be a little soggy. We'll fry this on moderate flame and make sure it becomes nice and crisp on the outside and gets cooked through and through. The potatoes are fried and ready and they are cooked through and through. I'm going to strain this off the oil and transfer this in a bowl which is lined with a kitchen tissue. Just make sure all the oil is absorbed on the tissue paper before you start using this. The next thing is to pan fry the seeds of coriander. For this, I'm just going to make sure I keep tossing the coriander seeds very lightly. While the coriander is getting toasted, let's cut some onions and chilies very fine. I'm chopping some green chilies very finely. Well, alternately, if you wish to remove these while eating, you can also slice these so that it becomes easier to identify. But however, I love making this chaat with the chopped chilies. The coriander seeds are toasted and ready. Off goes the flame, and these need to cool down in the same pan. It's been 5 minutes and the toasted coriander seeds have cooled down. Let's crush these into a coarse powder. This is done and ready. Let's begin with tossing the chaat. First thing, I've discarded the tissue paper. Second thing, let's start tossing some spices in. First thing that goes in is the green chili. The next is the chopped onion, along with juliennes of ginger. With this, some chaat masala, some salt as required, very little of chili powder to just spike it up a little, seeds of fresh pomegranate, and finally, juice of some lime. Let's give this a toss very lightly so that you do not break the potatoes. And here you have this beautiful chaat which is done and ready. Once this is ready, I'm going to sprinkle the crushed and toasted coriander seeds. With this, some more pomegranate seeds, a wedge of lime, and finally, a few sprigs of coriander.
So today I'm going to show you an interesting chaat recipe which is Palak Chaat. I'm going to start with making the batter, for which I have a cup of gram flour here, 2 tablespoons of rice flour. Let's add in the seasoning ingredients. Half a teaspoon of ajwain or carom seeds, 1/4 teaspoon of hing or asafoetida, 1/4 teaspoon of red chili powder, pinch of turmeric powder, salt to taste, 1 finely chopped green chili. Let's mix all these ingredients and add some water in it to make a nice thick batter. Make sure there are no lumps. This is the consistency of the batter that I need. It's quite thick. It's thicker than the pakoda batter that we usually make. The batter is ready and now time to coat and fry the spinach leaves. I have some spinach leaves here that I've washed thoroughly, and make sure you pat dry them properly. And now I'm going to dip them in this batter. I've also kept some oil to heat. Coat the leaf with the batter. Fry it on medium-low heat. Flip them over. Once you get a golden brown color, let's get them out. Let's fry the remaining. The spinach leaves are fried, and what I'm going to do is I'm also going to drop just plain batter into the oil because I want some crunchies to garnish on top. So just take a spoon and just drop small droplets of the batter. The thing with this chaat is you have to plate it immediately. Let's take the spinach leaves, and I also have some topping ingredients. Let's sprinkle all the ingredients. So I have some boiled moong here, finely chopped onions, finely chopped tomatoes, some seasoning masalas, cumin seed powder, black salt, red chili powder, some green chutney, some date and tamarind chutney, and some churned curd. Garnish with some save and some coriander leaves. A little bit of these crunchies that I fried, and this is ready. Bread samosa chaat. Generally, we stuff the samosa filling in the dough, but today I'm going to place it over bread disc. So let's cut the bread. I have 2 slices of bread here. You can take brown, white, whatever you want, and just take any kind of a steel ring or a bowl, and let's cut it in a disc. Let's toast these bread slices with some butter in a pan. You can even make it in the toaster or bake it in the oven. Let's melt some butter. Let's put the bread slices in the pan. Make sure the bread slices are nice and crispy and remove them over a wire rack so that they don't become soggy. Now in the same pan, I'm going to heat up a little bit of oil. Once the oil is nice and hot, let's add in 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. Next, add in coarsely ground peanuts. Slightly toast them. Once the peanuts start catching color, let's add in 3 light green chilies that I've thinly sliced. Saute them for a few seconds. Half a cup of frozen green peas, or you could even add boiled green peas. Next, add in 2 potatoes, boiled and coarsely mashed. Let's add in all the spices. 1 teaspoon of chaat masala, half a teaspoon of black salt, coriander leaves. Mix all these ingredients nicely. Turn off the flame and next stir in half a cup of mint leaves. Give this a good mix. And this filling is ready. Let's start assembling the chaat. So in your platter, take the bread discs. To assemble these discs, I'm going to use the ring. But if you do not have the ring, you can just top the bread slices with the samosa filling. Let's top it up with this filling. Just press the filling on the bread. Make sure it's nicely sticking to the slices. Let's layer some onions, some de-seeded finely chopped tomatoes, some pomegranate seeds, some coriander leaves. Just give this a mix and press it down so that it sticks to the filling. Let's remove the ring. Let's make another one without the ring just in case you don't have it. So just take the bread slice and make a good layer of the filling on top of it. Keep pressing down so that it sticks. You could even use your hands to do so. Flatten it with the help of a spoon. Same way, let's top it up with the onions, tomatoes and the pomegranate seeds, coriander leaves, and press all of this down as well. Let's drizzle some churned curd, some sweet chutney and some green chutney. Sprinkle a little bit of chaat masala, some red chili powder, a few drops of lemon juice, and lastly, some save. Green peas chaat. So I have a pot of boiling water over here. Into this, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt and 1.5 cup of green peas. So let's add in the salt. Also 1.5 cup of raw green peas. And now I'm going to boil this for about 4 to 5 minutes. I just want them parboiled. Make sure the flame is on high and the water is boiling at all times. 4 minutes are up and I'm going to turn off the flame and let's get these green peas out. So I've lined a bowl with some kitchen towel so that it absorbs any kind of excess moisture. Just let them cool down for a few minutes. The green peas have cooled down slightly and now I'm going to turn on the flame. And in this pan, I'm going to heat up 1.5 tablespoons of oil. Once it's hot, I'm going to add in half a teaspoon of cumin seeds. Next goes in 1.5 tablespoons of finely chopped ginger. And now into this, I'm going to add these green peas. Give this a mix and let this roast on low flame for at least a good 3 to 4 minutes. This recipe is quite interesting and so are your answers in the shout-out segment, so stay tuned till the end. These peas are done and now I'm going to turn off the flame, and after that I'm going to add in all the dry spices. So I have 1 teaspoon of cumin seed powder, 1 teaspoon of black salt or kala namak, half a teaspoon of chaat masala, half a teaspoon of red chili powder, 1 green chili de-seeded and finely chopped. Give this a good mix. And now into this, I'm going to add in 1 tomato de-seeded and finely chopped, Make sure it's a small tomato, not too big. Also, 1 small onion finely chopped. Coriander leaves. Give this a mix. And the last ingredient is some lemon juice. Around a teaspoon of lemon juice, not much. If healthy chaats are your thing, do check the link for chana masala in the description box below. Let's give this a last stir now and plate it. It's so quick and easy with very few ingredients, and it's a good snack for kids, maybe around snack time, or even you can give it in their lunch boxes. Last, I'm going to garnish this with a little bit of save. If you have it handy, then you can add some.
If you're a chaat lover, I promise this spicy, tangy and crunchy chaat recipe will surely tingle your taste buds. Let's make Ragda Chaat. In the market, you get these dried white peas or ragda. I have taken 1 cup of these and soaked them overnight. Here you see after soaking they have swelled up. Let's begin by boiling these. In a cooker, I'm simply adding 2 cups of water, the soaked ragda and 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm closing this and we will let this cook for 3 whistles. It's done, let's check. The ragda is cooked perfect. Now let's spice it up. In a kadhai, I'm taking 1 teaspoon of oil. Once the oil is heated, I'm adding a pinch of hing and 1 teaspoon of jeera or cumin seeds. Once the jeera crackles, I'm adding 1 finely chopped onion. Cook till they turn translucent. Now I'm adding 1 teaspoon ginger garlic paste and 1 chopped green chili. Saute this for a few seconds. Now I'm adding the spices. 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of jeera or cumin powder, 1 teaspoon of amchur powder, 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder and 1 teaspoon of garam masala. Once the masalas are cooked, I'm adding 2 grated tomatoes. Cook for a minute. Time to add the white peas we boiled. Bring it together and cook for a minute. In the end, I'm adding chopped coriander leaves. Let's give it a mix and now it's time to assemble the chaat. Firstly, I'm adding the cooked ragda. Drizzle on this some sweetened curd, green chutney and tamarind chutney. Add chopped onions and tomatoes. Sprinkle salt, chaat masala, red chili powder and fine save. Crush and add some puris for some extra crunch. In the end, I'm adding some chopped coriander leaves. Perfect. Eat well, live well and stay blessed.
Today we are making ghugni. Let's see how to make it. Ghugni is made with white matar. I've soaked it overnight and it looks something like this right now. We're going to boil this in 2 cups of water. I'm going to add about 1.5 teaspoon of salt to this and we are going to mildly flavor this with half an onion that has been chopped into medium chunks. It's important that you boil the white peas in an open pan so that they don't become overly cooked and mushy. You want the peas to hold their shape. While the white peas are cooking, let's move on to the next step. We're going to cook the masala. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of mustard oil to a hot pan. I'm going to fry some fresh coconut over here. This is 1.5 tablespoons of chopped fresh coconut. This adds a nice texture to the ghugni. Once the coconut has a little bit of color, take it out. We're going to start by frying up some spices. I have a bay leaf here, dried red chili, a cinnamon stick, 2 cardamom pods and 2 cloves. We're going to saute this till the aroma releases. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of jeera. I'm going to add in 1 onion which is sliced, 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic and chili paste. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Once the onions have a little bit of color on them, we're going to add in some medium cubed potatoes. And with this, I'm also going to add half a tomato, which is also cut up into cubes. Let's make a spice paste. In a small bowl, I'm going to add some turmeric, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, 3/4 teaspoon of cumin powder and 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, 3 tablespoons of water to this. This will ensure that the spices don't overcook and the flavors are released very nicely while we saute it. The potatoes are halfway done. Now to this we are going to add our spice paste and we are going to cook it till the oil releases. The oil has released from the spices. Now I'm going to turn down the flame. Some of them have left the skin. Let's check if they are soft. They're soft, so now they're ready to go into our pan. I'm just going to drain the matar and add them directly to our pan. Toss the peas in all this masala. Now we're going to cook this further with the liquid that is left in our pot. Add about 1 to 1.5 cup of the liquid from your pot and we're going to cover and let this cook till all the liquid is dried up. This smells so good right now. The water has completely dried up and the potatoes are done too. After switching off the flame, add around 2 teaspoons of sugar to balance all the flavors out. As the sugar melts, the ghugni is going to be nicely glazed. And now I'm going to serve this in a drone. I'm going to top this off with some imli chutney, some chopped onions, fried coconut, little bit of chopped coriander, lots of sliced green chilies, and we're going to finish it off with some bhaja masala.